After completing the employment process, many Ukrainians began to contribute to the budgets of their host countries by paying national taxes and fees. If the average migrant to Poland in 2014 to 2017 was a young man with a primary education, in 2022 it was a woman with a higher education, often with children. According to the UNHCR survey, 70% of the surveyed migrants have a higher education. For comparison, in Ukraine before the war, this figure was 29%, and among the EU countries, 33%. As a result, migration encourages other segments of the labor market. Instead of physical labor, jobs in the service sector are in greater demand, in particular part-time jobs with fewer night shifts. New migrants settled mainly in cities and looking for work in a wide range of economic sectors. Poland has provided Ukrainians with almost 1.5 million temporary protection statuses and has already received a positive effect from this. For example, according to the Center of Migration Research at the University of Warsaw, employed Ukrainians in Poland have already paid 10 billion zloty, about 2.4 billion euro, in taxes. This exceeds the amount of support provided, although these amounts do not take into account the cost of education and healthcare. According to international estimates, more than half of those who have received temporary protection have jobs in Poland, and according to Polish research centers, even 3/4. According to officials, 420,000 of the Ukrainian migrants found work in 3 main industries: in construction, IT, and retail. According to the European Investment Bank, the full-scale Russian war against Ukraine has stimulated 1.1% reduction in real private consumption in the EU, primarily in the countries of Central Eastern and Southeastern Europe. However, the expenses of Ukrainian migrants correlated with this forecast. The presence of additional clients stimulated consumer markets in European countries. In early 2022, Ukrainian migrants even led to a splash in retail trade and private consumption in Poland and Estonia. However, the situation later stabilized. Having spent their financial pillows, Ukrainians used the opportunities of local governments. The financial support received was also spent on domestic markets, boosting their growth. The largest volumes of transactions in retail chains using Ukrainian cards were carried out in Poland, 28% of the total volume, and in Germany, 10%. In particular, analysts of the Crédit Agricole Bank identified the influx of migrants from Ukraine as the main driver of speeding up retail sales in Poland in March 2022. In particular, there was a noticeable increase in sales in the clothing and footwear categories, 41.9% versus 2.6% in February. Furniture, electronics and home appliances were 44% compared to 2.8% in February. In general, in the host countries, Ukrainians also actively spent their own funds on housing, healthcare and education, taking into account the significant share of children among migrants, 28% to 44% in different countries. Financiers think that this compensated the negative impact of inflation and the decline of consumer attitude on household spending. A similar situation has developed in Estonia. According to the forecast, based on the estimates from the IMF research due to the contribution of Ukrainian migrants, the output of goods and services in Estonia, Poland and the Czech Republic in 2026 will be 2.3% higher than in the baseline scenario without migration. In Germany, by 0.65%.